Benson Pastore, together with Toko Badru, the media officer for West Nile Province. It's not the first of its kind we are hosting him at West Nile TV. So a lot of things are transpiring at the camp of West Nile Province as far as the upcoming game up against Busoga Province is concerned. Not only that story, remember we'll be looking at so many stories. The FIFA 8 started yesterday. Yesterday we had 2 games on the card. Today we'll also be having 2 games on the card. We'll be doing analysis about that one. What about the camp of Vipers Sports Club? They have scheduled a friendly with one of the biggest teams in South Africa Premiership. I'm talking about Mamelodi Sundowns, because they had earlier on been drawn against Janneng Galaxy, a team they are going to play in the preliminary rounds of the CAF Champions League. So they think that they need to engage themselves in the friendlies before the day of the friendly. Remember, the game is going to be played on home and away basis, the game with Janneng Galaxy, not the friendly match. They will be going away to Pretoria to see how they can be able to play the game against the Mamelodi Sundowns. And we'll also be looking at the ongoing Women's World Cup, which is taking place in New Zealand and Australia. The games have already, some of the teams, they have already qualified for the semi-finals. And this morning we had two countries that sealed their slots to the semi-finals. Spain, for the first of its kind, they have already proceeded to the semi-finals. And at the same time, we also saw another team booking their place in the semi-finals. And tomorrow we're having 2 games on the card, as Australia will also be tussling it out with another team, and England, they will also be looking at their fate if they can be able to proceed to the semi-finals. And at the same time, a lot of sagas continues to happen in the world of transfer. Caicedo saga is still moving on. Liverpool bid something of around £111 million to see that they acquire the services of this guy. But Chelsea is still in the mix, though they have already agreed personal terms with the player. Not the player, rather. They have already agreed everything with the team of Brighton and Hove Albion. And at the same time, we cannot rule the Blues completely out of the deal, because they're also looking for a way to see how they can lure the services of the Ecuadorian. What about the saga of Harry Kane? Is he already a Bayern Munich player, or is he still a player for Spurs? We'll also be talking about that one. Manchester United, they have also agreed a deal with Fenerbahce, a team that plays in the Turkey Super League, to see that they sign their midfielder Fred, whom they signed from Shakhtar Donetsk way back in 2018. Plus the other stories that continues to make headlines here and there. What about La Liga? Not forgetting about English Premier League. They are returning tonight, and tonight we are having 2 games in Spanish Primera Division. Not forgetting about the Sun will be taking on the father, that's Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, will be tussling it out with the companies Burnley. The game will be at 4 p.m. As I said, we will start by giving the updates about West Nile Province, because we are only 2 weeks away for the game to take place. And I did say I'm not alone in the studios. I have got the media officer for the team of West Nile Province, and he will be giving updates as far as the preparation ahead of the game is concerned. His name is called Toko Badru, as you can call him. That's it. Tioke, you are ushered into the show.
Well, thank you very much. As West Nile Province, we are ready, and our intentions are quite clear. We want to defend the title, and as we defend the title, we definitely need the top player. And I think our next engagement, like we said, is on 27th of this month. Today is 11th. We left about 15 days. The 16th day will probably be the action day. Now, the questions asked in regard to preparations, I could tell you that our preparations are going well on the side of the team. Of course, at the moment, the technical team is trying to make sure they summon the squad, and so we are yet to summon the players, and the players are doing quite well with the football clubs, and so at the moment, all the West Nile players actually attached to the football clubs. Would probably be expecting new faces, because the last 2 games have been quite engaging, quite interesting. And then I think we should be bracing ourselves for new faces. We did talk about players like Loki Emmanuel, who probably was actually summoned in there. We also did talk about players players in the likes of Mandela Nelson, who probably trained with the team and did not have that particular opportunity to play. He may probably be in line to play, and you talk about Toha Rashid, who probably has engagement the other side. So anytime from today, we should be able to, before this particular week maybe ends, or probably early next week, we should be able to have the salmon squad out. And when the squad is out, like we said, our first, first training will probably be in Germany, and that will be on 20th. That means our team will be able to travel to Germany on the 19th, and of course we intend to be there for 1 week. Besides the players' preparation and besides other organizations, there is actually a partnership that has come in for the province. We talked about the partnership with Shield that is taking us to a moment of having funds done on the replica jerseys for the province. It's working on well. They already have the jerseys at Asil Petrol Station in Arua, but then in other branches we'll also be able to have. Well, besides that, of course, we're also working on a project of the t-shirts. T-shirts will be available for the fans to put on, which is quite interesting. Those are some of the advantages a fan would have on a given day in there. Now, we're speaking about the fans. Down in Germany, there have been meetings, and our first meeting was behind the RDC's office. That was at Grauea. And then there was a meeting at Paridi Stadium, and now there are meetings that are expected to be taking place at, that is Germany's biggest place, that is Oasis Diners Vineyard.
Yes.
Now, in which meetings there is an expectation in regard to what the funds can do. The funds are looking at raising some finances to help the team transport itself. They're looking for money to make sure the team is accommodated. They're looking for money so that at least the team can also be, probably, well catered for as they're in Germany. Now, prior to this, yesterday, I had an engagement with the funds leader and, of course, also the owner of Bamboo Village. And they have promised that next week, Thursday, will probably be dedicated to the province team. And the dedication means that we'll actually be able to have the province team officials over there, and there will be collections done by the corporates to support the team, which is a good gesture. Now, too, we have a number of activities that will be taking place in Germany. One of them is next week, Thursday.
If I may interject a bit, is the financial support coming from all the funds we have in here in the West Nile region, or is the support is coming from the funds from Greater Madi region? It's
entire West Nile, but then Greater Madi region have taken it upon themselves to usher in such a project. And like I was mentioning, two Bamboo villages in Arua. Bamboo are trying to help. They're using the quiz night. And then we actually did have collections coming in from, that is one of the joints, that is the comrades. Every Tuesday they have quiz in there. And of course, they're also able to kind of put their support. So we're urging for people to give their support willingly. It's time for us to unite, time for us to put our heads together and see how the team can actually be able to do better. But then as we discuss all this, we all know that the province will be in Germany, and of course, as the province will be in Germany, we intend to make sure that the funds are well catered for. One of the projects that we have in place is to talk to the guys in the ferry to make sure that the ferry operates even up to midnight to allow funds to travel even that late. The leadership of Ubongi district and German district and the Greater Madi Awologo are probably trying to work out on that, and even including the one at Moyo Germany. Of course, they're also having a discussion in that regard. That means you can even be able to reach Germany after midnight on that particular day, or probably at the eve of the game. Now, as this goes on, there are events that are actually being prepared, organized, and I can tell you the team that is headed by Muzewa Karaka down in Germany, the likes of Emalex, the likes of Honorable Vodrico, likes of Honorable Mawadi Charles are probably trying to make sure that there is a better organization. The comedians we have in West Nile will be entertaining us on Friday. That will be in Germany in a venue that we yet to mention. We'll have a quiz on a Thursday before the comedy on Friday. On Saturday we have the West Nile night. The night basically will be having in West Nile artists, and so the proceeds of this will probably go on to help the West Nile province team. Now, there is something very big cooking in regard to the corporate social responsibility. As a province, we intend to go to the hospital and visit the sick and give them hope, and that is one of the things we'll do. Secondly, we also intend to go in there and contribute some small monies or probably resources to support YZDG, who probably has been a prominent artist and has supported the industry big time. Now, that means our entire week in Germany is going to be a quite busy one. For the players, they will be training hard to make sure that they actually get to beat the team Busoga. Well, for the fans, apart from even winning the game, they should be able to look at some of the fundamental, ways of trying to reach out to the community. Well, as I summarize the talk about the province, I would want to inform the general public out there that our team has not been summoned yet. And in any case that you had been planning into our friendly matches with the team, you may only have the West Nile Select team, or perhaps the Players Association. You may not have the West Nile Province team. The province team is a team that is summoned after a write-up is done to the clubs. So those who have been, probably trying to reach out and intending to have friendly matches, those games you will play are not with the West Nile Province. and the management of the West Nile province would like to desist and in the strongest ways say that the players you may see might have really played for the province, but they have not been summoned yet. So in case there's anything that happens with the players in maybe a game they play, it is either the clubs or the personalities that probably will be involved. And so I am here to create a very good impression to say that we have not yet summoned our players. We have not yet had our players in camp, and so there's no need for you to write a letter to us requesting to play a friendly match with us. Our engagements will start from the 19th, and of course, we only have one big game two big games in Adjumani. One is against the Ologo Maria Ologo team. That will be before the Busoga game. So that's our project that we're thinking about. After that, I will have a game on the 10th of September, and of course, we'll be away to Bugisho. We are trying to make sure that we do not get to mislead people. We do not get to send wrong information. If there are information like this, you write to the province, and the person who approves friendly matches is the head coach. It is Samson Okuti, and he will pass the information to team manager Mike Leti. Mike Leti will talk to the executive committee that then will say yes or no. And that is the criteria we have as a province. And I speak this, and I want to take it upon myself to also inform you that we do not want to see our players suffer. There might be issues of injuries, there might be other situations, but most importantly, we're trying to play safe. We haven't summoned any player, and we do not have any financial kind of implications on teams that will play, because we are going to play all the DFS in a select format before we conclude the FUFA Drum India. Thank you.
Okay, picking it from where you have left, which criteria are you going to use to summon these players? And we have seen inconsistency in some of these players, like in the game against Busoga, the first game we played, some of the players were there, the likes of Saban. The second game, they were not there. Now, we never know in the third game we are going to play with Busoga, they may also appear. Why is it that you are summoning the players each and every match?
Well, this is like a national team. Now, maybe a player who played against Busoga in the first leg is off form, he's not doing well. And so I don't think there's reason for a coach to keep him there. Now, maybe a player who played against Bugishu in here might have gotten a knock. So we're trying to make sure that we have a very good team. And I can tell you, we have a limit of probably summoning over 100 players if we want. So I think we're doing well. All the players who summon either have been in West Nile or probably they are attached to West Nile in any way or the other. So as a province, we are allowed, according to the regulations of the FUFA Drum, we're allowed to summon as many players as we can. But most importantly, their players must be lanced. Lanced means that they should be in the FUFA system, indicating that they belong to West Nile. And then two, they must be having, probably a better documentation in terms of where do they come from, which district they come from, which tribe they are. Because we talked about diversity, and so as a province, we're trying to make sure that we live within our limits in there.
Yeah, about the issue of finance, you have mentioned so many events ahead of the game, more especially the last week when we'll be heading for the game. You have mentioned so many activities. Are we going to see the gate collection we are going to get from the events going into the bank of the West Nile province?
Yeah, correct. These are events that are being generated by the funds.
Okay.
It is not the province that is going to be running the events. I'm not even going to be so much into the match as a media officer. I might be touched one, two, probably trying to make sure that they are published. The events are quite published. It is a pleasure that as a region we have a TV. Now it is a pleasure that we have guys who are performers, who are artists, who are very creative. I'm an MC and myself, and of course as an MC, what is my contribution to the province? What is my contribution to the region? So I think the guys have taken it upon themselves. This idea was discussed by about 5 people. I was involved. Mr. David Majo Carbino was involved. Honorable Raskul was involved. There was Man Pato. There was Ziggy Zaga. Then they intend to have guys like Village Boyfriend, the Kuniro Boy, and other comedians probably come through and do that. Now the artists are willingly coming. I posted something, and I can tell you that over 20 artists have confirmed that they will be doing it for free.
Good.
So the accountability to the shows will be done. Just like we do anything, there will be a substantial way. But that's why we're thinking that Adjumani will maybe success, because these are things that we have not done in other places. And then we also intend to make sure that apart from taking these games to Adjumani, like we already agreed that the quarterfinal game, home game, will be in Nebi at low grounds. Now, what about one time taking a game to Maria Okolo, taking a game to Maracha, taking a game to Terego, taking a game
Okay,
to Yumbe.
okay, let me-
Koboko. I mean, we shall be moving. and
Let,
we need
let
to
me
move.
let me pick from there. You said that the quarter-final game probably be taken to Greater Nairobi Regional Ground. In case we fail to proceed to the quarter-finals, do you think they will not be missing the party?
We may not even fail to participate in the next drum or the FUFA drum competition. That means if things do not go as planned, we're not wishing for the worst. They will be able to host the next game after the game at Paridi Stadium. We're actually intending to create a balance. We're striking a balance. You never know next time when we go to Madiland, we may go to Moyo, we may go to Bongi. When we go to Aluruland after this partition, because the last time we played in Aluruland, we played in Barokoro. Now we're at low grounds. We may go to Pakwach. We may even take a game to Parombo. The intentions are clear. But then I want also West Nile's to understand that managing the province is not as small as we manage our families. It's not a small thing. It is kind of stressing thing. Now, if you're out there and then you have feelings, you always want things to be done your way, and you have your own agenda, it doesn't work. These players we summoned, these players who work for the province are paid for. They are professionals. And some of us who are working in the province, we do not just sit there and work. We have bills to pay as well. So at the end of the day, we are people who are supposed to be appreciated. And I'm not saying that somebody should appreciate me by force. I have my ways of working. I've worked in this province. There is no media officer. There's no journalist in this region, in this province that has had a journey that I've had. So my message to people is simple. This team is ours, but then let's try to have a very slow way, better way of doing things. If you want to play the province team, why do you call somebody on phone? Why don't you write? Don't you go to school? Why don't you use your brain?
That one brings us to the last motivating word you may want to tell to the fans of West Nile Province, and also at the same time the studio line is already indicated on the screen. You may want to answer into 1 or 2 words, and the studio line is already on the screen as you prepare to give the last words for the fans of West Nile Province.
The fans about the province is that you fans, we do these things for you. At the end of the day, you need to be happy. You need to have results, and for you to have results, you need to support us in the project of trying to prepare the team. We're in the kitchen trying to put something together. We're trying to put our best West Nile dish. So all you need to do is to make sure you come with good appetite. You come with the toothpicks and enjoy. This product needs our protection. Apart from the monies you pay at the gate, you should be able to have that enjoyment. Even why we're doing it early is that we want you to plan yourself better so that your countdown to a Juma should be better. Now, that is the reason we are trying to communicate and even telling people that if you want to go quick and you think you want to save fuel, you want to save money, you have to go via Bongi. If you want to go and you want to have a lot of time, you want to travel for a long time, you can go via Moyo. And we're doing this because we want to make sure that our brothers and sisters in Madiland are probably well catered for. So as a province, it is an obligation. I'm doing this today. There was a leader before me, a person who was probably sitting in and discussing media issues. Maybe when I'm gone, there will also be somebody coming in, and that person should find when the ground is fair and very clean. So as a province, I would want to encourage that if there are other issues that would want to put better. But then this responsibility of the game, the hype and everything, I spoke to the fans leader, Onyango, and one thing I told him is that they should take the lead, and Madia Ologo have taken the lead. Maybe at one point in one of the slots we have in here, we'll be able to have them. But I can tell you that this TV, West Nile TV and West Nile in general, do have a partnership, which partnership is in a way of trying to promote both products. So as you go for the game, I do not actually fail to subscribe and probably be a part of this journey because our future games from the regional league to the future FUFA drum games may be, after clearance, may be live on the TV. And so as we get onto TV, there is need for us to get organized. There's need for us to advocate for what is right. There are better fights we have, and there are better appreciations and celebrations we'd have. After winning the drum, what else for West Nile? We need to unite.
Okay, thank you so much, Tioke, the media officer for West Nile Province, for always keeping the fans updated with what is transpiring at the camp of West Nile Province. At least twice, if not twice, once in a week, you always hear at West Nile TV to keep the fans updated. It has been